I came to Tabora because for a long time I perceived a call to go to people who maybe have not been as fortunate in me in experiencing God's love as I have. All of my life I've had experienced financial security. I've had parents who and a family who lovingly surrounds me. I've had loads of opportunities for education. I was able to choose what I wanted to do. I am healthy, and I mean there are so many blessings in my life. I always knew, even from a very small age, how much God loves me. There are so many people in the world. When I saw the pictures and I heard the stories of people, how people have to live in many other countries and other cultures, who were only surviving day by day with no knowing whether tomorrow they would be fed. And I wanted to be a person who could show people how real God's love is wherever you are, and that is really what brought me to Tanzania, and that is what makes me want to do Familia Moja, because it means that we have the ability to pick up people who with very little help actually can regain self-confidence, know that they are worthy, that they are loved before God, that they are people who are to be worth to be counted. And that's how we started thinking about Familia Moja, and that's how this whole project came to life, because it's based on encountering people, on encountering needs.
Many people ask us, what is Familia Moja?
Familia Moja is actually mainly concentrating on four things. We are helping people, subsidizing their treatment if they have life-threatening conditions on the ward and they cannot afford to stay, as well as giving them palliative care if necessary on our ward. St. Philip is the name of the health center that I actually have been working in, and it is the only health facility that the diocese has at the moment. The diocese is very large and it covers 6 districts, the whole region of Tabora. The region has 2.8 million people, and the health facility in this area have been till recently really rather poor. Particularly, we have not got a district hospital for the district of Tabora town, but only a regional hospital, and the other hospitals, though they are there, have actually not got any registered medical practitioners. In actual fact, till last year I was the only medical practitioner for the whole of the town apart from the regional medical officer.
This poor father has been trying to find diagnosis for his child for 2 years, so they're very exhausted now. Kumbe imeshatokea. Okay, this poor child is rather sick. She's coming from a local area. She's 4 years old. She's been sick with recurrent fevers for 2 years. She's got abdominal pain. She has got painful legs and arms that come intermittently. This is Lupinza. She is 5 months old. So the child was sick probably 3 days. Severe malaria, vomiting, diarrhea, was given local drugs, didn't improve, had 2 fits, arrived here yesterday. The conscious levels are still not quite okay, but the observations, the pulse rate is still up, but the fever is down, so I think the child's probably been poisoned by the local drugs. Una psikiatri leo? Afadhali? He's got very swollen knees. Poor old man. And he's not been able to work for 2 years. He also gets short of breath. As soon as someone hasn't got HIV, then I'm really stuck and he's stuck, because he would get drugs, he would get better if he had HIV. If it isn't not HIV, then we don't know what it is. Then we really have to start searching hard and trying things and trying to see whether we can help him.
My name is Tobias Rubika, who work here at St. Philip Clinic as a chaplain. I work with doctors and nurses. So we help people who are come for treatment. Every day we are very happy to try to tell them and counseling them. No, forget that there is God who is greater than anybody.
Mama Ndugu, do you remember anyone specifically from the people that Familia Moja helped to get life-saving treatment on the ward?
Yes. I can remember about one boy, which I can tell his name, but I think it was Nathaniel. It is not the real name of his, but he was near to die, and he stayed in the ward for 14 days with the oxygen, and he had a lungs problem, very big problems. He was wasted, thin, but the parents did not have enough money to pay for. Then we decided that Familia Moja account can pay for this boy. And when he got the treatment, it was about 1 month in the ward. He was able to walk again, and he started going to school. We started mobile clinics because many areas and villages have no health services. And many mothers, infants, newborns were dying earlier. In the mobile clinics, we do vaccinations, maternal care, children, and seeing patients.
After 1 year, we discovered that in the area we went to, which we started in one particular village called Mwakashinje, that the maternal and the child mortality had gone virtually to zero. And that was such a significant result that it motivated us to try to continue and extend that service, so that we are now providing this particular service, including a full-blown mini-lab going out every time to 5 different villages. An important part of our Familia Moja work, very important aspect to us, is partnering with people in these life-threatening situations. We partner people short-term, we also partner quite a few people mid-term, and some few people long-term. We only partner people while they're in this crisis that is potentially life-threatening to them.
Ashura is an old lady living some sort of Tabora. She's having problems seeing and no walking. She's living alone, no family, but neighbors can carry water for her, and she just lives on renting her small house for about £2 a month. She is supported by Familia Moja for about 5 years now, with food and medical care. Here is another widow known as Maria. She's living alone with no relatives. Her husband died 3 years ago.
This is the original house that the lady lived in, but they were afraid it would fall, so they built this one instead. Philip from Nottingham, who supports Familia Moja, built this.
The farm, which is part of our 4th aspect of our Familia Moja work, started as an agricultural project, mainly to provide food for those families that we were supporting as our Familia Moja families. Very quickly, that project became a haven for people with complex and serious medical and social needs, of whom quite a few had no home.
So there was, this is the second room, and that's the middle room, and then you have the bedroom here. So that you have your private space and your non-private space.
Make as much on top as you can until it flows over. So this is from the biblical phrases. The measurement is it has to come as much as it comes until it falls out.
Yes.
And then that's one measurement. So that's one bucket. That's 20 kilo.
Very good.
So it's 20 kilo for that will. Familia ya watu wanne italisha siku ngapi?
Bebe.
Wiki mbili?
Amna. Ni siku 5.
Okay, if the family has no other food and there are 4 people in the family, this is enough for 5 to 6 days.
This is a cistern that has been concreted in and will be used to capture water from the houses that you can see around, and the concrete supports in the middle for the roof that is still to come.
So one of the things that we had to learn when we came here is that the soil in this part of the country, particularly in Tabora, is extremely sandy. And even when you smell it, there's no humus smell. It's a very nice clean of nothing smell because it's actually mainly sand. We have a little bit of a topsoil, but underneath it's pure sand. So that actually means that a lot of growth isn't really very easily possible except use artificial fertilizer, which we actually don't agree with, and also is very difficult because of the change in the rainy seasons. So what we have done is we have now tried to work a new way, which is called planting God's way. And what we have done is we have covered 2 to 3 acres of land with organic material, and we are planting in the planting season not things that we want to grow like maize, but we're planting nitrate-rich plants that allow humus to be rebuilt underneath. So we call this soil restoration, and the technique comes from a group that is, the whole group is calling this planting God's own way, which means that a humus layer is built up over another not such good layer of soil, which doesn't get disturbed for a long time until it is able to carry a harvest. And we have noticed that with this method we are now able to harvest at least 3 times more than we were before, but we're hoping to harvest enough for the whole of the Familia Moja needs. We don't choose who we look after. We look after the people who come and are just not able to survive by themselves, because we know that God cares for them and He passionately loves them as He loves me. And that is what we really do. And that is why people also respond, as you have seen here on Familia Moja on the farm. They can just tell that we have something that they have never had before, which is the love that I've experienced of God, which is unconditional.